Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Picadian.
All right, hey everybody, it's me, Todd, Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to this little show of ours called the Guitar Knobs podcast.
Yes.
Well, as you may have guessed it, based on the 400 plus other episodes, we've got a great guest.
Yes.
And we're very excited to talk to
Every
this
guest
person.
is great.
Every guest is great on our show. This is going to be very exciting. When you stumble onto somebody and it's new to you, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And we've done just that.
No.
Guest, go ahead and identify yourself. Go ahead and identify yourself, please.
Yeah, I'm Josh Strange from Strange Audio Electronics.
Excellent.
Otherwise known as Dr. Strange?
Sure.
Yes. So there's probably a percentage of people who are like, new, what are you talking about? I've known about this for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a whole lot of people who are like, what's this?
Yes.
Which is great. So we're going to find out all about the Strange Audio Electronics story. Mm-hmm. Where can people go to see the things that you're doing, Josh?
Instagram, unfortunately. Instagram is probably the best place. At Strange Audio Electronics is my handle. Or you can go to strangeaudioelectronics.com and see my website with everything there. That's pretty much it, I guess.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, so in the give us the nickel version of what you do.
I'm an amp builder. I build mostly medium to lower wattage amps with a really tuned in ear for a great straight in plugged in amp, and then I tie it all into a really flashy, cool looking cabs and printed Tolex, printed grill cloths and colorful Tolexes and all that good stuff.
Yes,
I make flashy, good sounding things.
They are definitely flashy
And good sounding.
Yes.
Well, thanks.
So we're gonna find out all about these cool things and so much more.
Much
everybody.
more.
Yes.
Much more.
We've got a few things to take care of before we start off on that journey. Announcements, Tony.
Yes.
Anything?
I do.
I figured you did. Go ahead.
So I received, as any of the followers of Rare Buzzer Effects Electronics,
Yes.
received an email today.
Yeah.
From John Esterly.
I read that.
Friend of podcast. And John was about ready to hang it up.
Yep.
Close down shop.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
But he, I'll just use his words if that's okay.
Please.
He says, but then 2 weeks ago, I saw my favorite band play here in Columbus. The lead singer.
Valentinos.
No, is the Weekend Friends.
Oh.
Also known as the Valentinos. That's
It's not.
his second favorite group.
I don't want to rob the joy right now. Joking.
The lead singer, Sonia, told her story of writing the latest album and how she almost gave up on music. But then she realized how much she loved it and what it meant to her. You know what? I'm the same way with these silly little stomp boxes.
Yes.
So, John sounds like he's going to maybe consolidate some things, maybe do some cost-saving things, maybe downscale a little bit.
Analysis, I believe they call it in the business world.
And but the good news is he's going to continue to build some great pedals.
And he's going to probably come on the show and talk to us about that, maybe with a couple other builders at the same time.
I think that would be nice.
I've already made the offer.
Oh, aren't you one step ahead of me? But anyhow, John, we love you.
Yeah.
We support you. If there's anything we can do to help, just let us know.
Yes, indeed. Other than that, I don't have much. We've been gearing up. Well, I should say we're front loading the holiday season.
Ho, ho, ho,
Yes.
ho.
So we've got a whole bunch of great episodes coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them might be like, why are they talking about this like it was 2 weeks ago? Because it might have been.
It's possible. We all get busy during the holiday season.
Especially me, and it's tough.
And then we've got NAMM coming up, too. Jeez.
Yep,
I mean,
we do.
it's coming faster than
Indeed.
a speeding locomotive.
Indeed. One other thing I thought I'd mention, I believe I kind of touched on this a little bit before, but I did get an email from somebody that said that, like, hey, I've been seeing a lot of, multiple, people been on multiple times, I hope everything's okay. I hope, you're not running out of guests or anything like that. And, no, we're not, because we've got Strange Audio Electronics on tonight. But
I'm new.
Yes, you're new. But honestly, there is at some point in time, if we keep doing this and other people don't keep being new, then yes, it might run out.
But the other part of that is
we love talking with
and
people that have been on and seeing where they're at.
And are releasing new things
all the time. That's kind of the whole thing of the business, is that you make something and you say, cool, made that. What am I going to make now?
Yeah.
So
yes,
it's largely about that. Now, this is coming off of Jeff Schroeder's 9th appearance.
Okay.
So, but honestly, I think that was one of the best episodes we ever did.
It actually was. It was really good. We got, and Jeff's such a great guy.
Yeah.
And, he was very honest about,
everything
that transpired. And so definitely have to listen to that.
Yeah. So don't blow it, Josh. So
you got some big shoes to fill, Josh. How you like them?
Anyways, so we thank you for your continued listenership, and we hope to bring you lots and lots more. I got a whole bunch of them stacked up. They're all brand new.
Yeah,
folks.
and we're going out to NAMM to hopefully line some more things up. So
indeed.
Worry not.
All right. We're going to find out what's going on in our music world this week. We're going to start off with Tanya Bolonsky, a.k.a. Tony Baloney, the Egyptian... I was going to say the Egyptian lover. That's a really, really old, weird disco soul song.
Really now?
That? Egyptian lover. No?
No.
Okay.
I remember Disco Duck.
Anyways, I don't know what to do with that. I'm gonna rewind that.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start off with Tony, and then we're going to check in with Josh.
Well, in my spare time when I'm not building pyramids, Egyptian.
Yes, I gotcha.
You get it. I hate when I have to explain the jokes. So this past weekend, I had I torture myself sometimes. I had to rewire a Gretsch guitar. Now, luckily, it was a solid body, so I didn't have to fish stuff through. But Gretsches are the craziest. The controls on a Gretsch are borderline ridiculous. Okay?
Okay.
This one in particular had a volume.
What model Gretsch?
Yeah, it was like a Firebird, Jet Firebird.
Okay.
Double cut.
Yeah.
Like Malcolm Young.
Okay.
Think Malcolm Young.
Sure.
So this one had a volume control for each pickup,
Yes.
a master volume, a pickup selector, and a tone switch.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got more wires running in this guitar than, the only thing more humanly possible is they could have put like a kill switch or something on it to,
Yeah.
But anyhow.
Somebody should make a combination of a Jaguar and a Firebird.
A Jet Firebird?
Yeah. That would be something.
There's a lot of wire in a Jaguar.
Well.
And a Jazzmaster.
Yeah.
But this one, it just is ridiculous because the volume controls sit where volume controls typically sit on a guitar. The master volume sits on the treble cutaway. The switches are up at the top, like you'd have on a Les Paul or whatever. Mm-hmm. So what you have to do is the pickups go to the volume controls. The outputs from the volume controls run up to the switch. the switch goes down to the master volume, and then the master volume goes out to the jack. So you've
Leg bones connected.
yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. The easiest part, believe it or not, was the tone switch, because although it's a really weird switch that only Gretsch has, it's a Switchcraft switch that the center is the center off position, and one way has one cap in, up is the other is a different cap. So it's kind of like a mud switch, whatever you want to call it. But that's actually the easiest part to hook into the output of the thing. But yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of wire.
The only thing harder than wiring that is following this story. Where are you going with this?
I just was trying to enlighten the unenlightened, like you, for instance, Todd.
That's fair. That's fair.
So lots of wire in a Gretsch guitar.
What were you doing to it?
I was basically wiring it from scratch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was
outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
For my free time. I love the smell of solder in the morning.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, Josh, what is going on in your music world this week that doesn't include building amps?
Geez, music world. I play in a couple bands.
Cool.
So we just had a show with one. I oddly enough play drums is my main. Like if you said, "Hey, let's start a band," I would assume you mean me on drums, even though I make guitar amps.
And like Leo Fender, right?
Jim Marshall.
Jim Marshall, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Jim Marshall was a drummer.
Was I thinking
something about drummers? Isn't Chris Benson a drummer? Kind of,
probably.
Sorta, right?
Yeah, why not?
Wasn't
I've heard
a drummer too?
Z might have been a drummer.
I think he said, because I knew there was another one in there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but not Leo Fender.
No.
Gotcha. Well, anyway, I play drums in an ambient band called Ambient Opera. We just played a show. We got another show coming up, so we're gearing up for that. That's happening musically.
Give us akin to what?
Ooh.
Like explosions in the sky or something like that?
No, more. I don't listen to a ton of ambient music, even though I'm in an ambient band.
You are a walking contradiction, my friend.
I know.
I'm an amp builder, but I'm a drummer. I play in an ambient band, but don't listen to ambient music.
Jeff is going to kill me for this too. No, it's kind of. I feel like a lot of early Radiohead without lyrics, with a lot of soundscapey stuff, but still has. Since there's drums in there and I'm a drummer, it has a lot of rhythm to it, not like kind of, a lot of ambient music doesn't really have a beat or a rhythm to it typically from what I've experienced.
Right.
So it's kind of like that. It's just instrumental. And we have like a couple guitar players doing kind of ambient-y stuff that you would expect. Keys, vibraphone, bass and drums, and then I play samples over it and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So,
wow,
it's cool. It's very chill and ambient-y, relaxy.
Yeah. And then when people listen to it, they say it's got a funky beat, and I can really bug out to it.
That's it.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, how about you've mentioned a couple bands. Are they all ambient?
No. The other band I'm in is a band called The National Bird. We're just kind of a local band. All the guys hired me to play drums. They've been playing, they're a good amount older than me. They've been playing since, I don't know, high school, I guess. All the songs he's written are kind of from then. He hired me to play drums because they can't seem to have a drummer that sticks and doesn't flake out or be weird. And that's kind of replacements, a bit of Neil Young and Crazy Horse kind of stuff. But all original, all that kind of power pop, I guess you would put it in that kind of garagey power pop world.
Okay.
So, it's pretty cool.
Are those the only bands?
Only bands currently.
Okay. All right. Of the kind of music that you play or don't play, what is your favorite music to play? I've
been really on a specifically 1993 I guess alternative kind of kick lately. So, like Not a Surf, early Superchunk, all that really guitar heavy. I call it like pop grunge,
Sure.
kind of, I guess, if that makes sense.
Like
you know,
Dinosaur Jr. kind of stuff like that.
definitely Dinosaur Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all that kind of stuff. I've been a really big kick on that the last, I feel like, couple of years. It's just like, and it's informed my amp making a little bit because it's all just, you know, big open amp tones, not in that kind of like raw way, not like a tuned in Marshall or something like that. It's just like a bassman cranked up, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Outstanding. Let's see. Well, Tony, since you asked.
Oh, Todd, what about you?
Well, I am very excited because we're going to be covering a song in my band, the Valentinos, as we are crafting a whole bunch of new songs, and I was just like, man, I really want to play this song. I can't say yet because I don't want to say it and then we don't figure it out. But I'm gonna have to. I had to grab the capo.
The capo.
I haven't grabbed that capo in years. So I was like,
the capo.
Yeah.
Some would call that cheating.
Someone might, but I think Johnny Marr might have an issue with that.
Well,
and he's one of my heroes. So
he's a has-been.
Yeah. Jeez.
Sorry, Johnny.
Well, yeah, and Noel, those. I mean, come on. What are you talking about? Cheating, you goofball.
Cheater.
So, well, you tell me then.
Why don't you just turn the keys?
Yeah.
Take it up to a C.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I had to go from an E,
E.
and I sat there with my singer.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, tell me where you feel comfortable in this range.
Yeah.
She doesn't have like she's not Pat Benatar, okay? She doesn't have this, humongous range. And this particular song kind of hits, the furthest end of high and low that she can get to.
Gotcha.
So we started off on E, went to F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. She goes, how about that one? I'm like, I have no more neck to go. Okay, let's do it. So I tried that. To me, it sounds choked, obviously, because you're pretty high up on the neck.
Can you just play,
I'm trying to figure something else out.
Do you need me to write the chords down for you?
No. Anyways, I think the band that originally made it, who was near and dear to my heart, might have an issue with it.
Really? Near and dear to your heart.
Yeah. Anyways, it's super fun though because I started playing. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great.
Oh, Supertramp.
Yes, exactly, Supertramp.
Oh.
No. Anyways,
Dave Grohl?
No. It's not that either, and stop guessing. So I'll share more on the next episode because I think I have an idea of how I'm going to get around this.
All right. Well, if you need help with the chords, just let me know.
I will.
I'll write them down for you.
Okay. Anyway, so that's my week. That's what I was busy doing, and so now I have to record it so that the rest of the band can actually play it in the correct key. Because if we listen to it, then it's not going to make sense.
I don't like that idea.
Yeah, neither do I. But that's what we got to do. Okay, and along the way,
yes,
we actually,
if you're playing with a capo,
if you were playing with a capo,
what's the one thing that you need?
You need patch cables for your pedals.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. You got to have those if you're playing with the capo.
Yes.
And fortunately, I have a lot of Tour Gear Designs patch cables.
My personal favorite.
They come in handy, even when I don't think I even need them. Just like using a capo.
Even when you don't use a capo, they're good to have.
You can go to tourgeardesigns.com, load up your cart. Trust me, you're gonna want to fill it up.
Yep.
And go ahead and hit purchase. But don't worry, don't fret, because
capo instead.
Capo before you fret. That's where you're going to get the prompt to enter the special code to save you 15%.
15%?
15%.
What is that code?
While it lasts. That code is the guitar knobs, all lowercase, all one word. Yes. And you will be thrilled to death when they arrive. They are outstanding.
Absolutely.
And we love them. And we thank you, Tour Gear Designs, for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor.
All right. Josh Strange from Strange Audio Electronics. What is your 4 on the floor?
I'll start with the Zfx Fuzz Factory. There's one. Do you want me to do the whole 4?
Nope.
I'll do them all.
One at a time.
There it is, the first one. I was going to save it for last, but I read it first.
So, in a sea of fuzz pedals, why that one?
Well, it's probably my first, for one thing, I'm not a huge pedal player now. I feel like through the years,
Besides the bass and the hi-hat.
Behind the exactly. Oh,
Nice.
Nice. Out of all the pedals I've had and sold, I feel like as soon as I got into amp making, I started dialing back the pedals. I have a hand painted Fuzz Factory from 2000 that I got in probably 2011, probably maybe 2012. It's the only pedal I've held on to the whole time. It's something that I think it was one of my first real fuzz pedals that wasn't, maybe a Big Muff or some clone of something that was like a cheapo clone. It was like my first like real deal fuzz pedal. I think so. There's a little bit of that connection with it. It's so basic yet so not basic, and it can be as basic as you want it to be, or it can be as wild as you want it to be. And it kind of was the first pedal that you could cover a lot of area in the fuzz world with a few knob twists and kind of dialing back guitar levels or all that kind of stuff. So it just still is inspiring piece to me. I feel like musically, even though you can set it up to be just a regular pretty blown out fuzz, you can get spitty, you can do all the stuff with it. So it definitely is still like a creative tool. So I still have it around.
Well, and those ones also were, I guess, for lack of better terms, definitely on the cutting edge of the boutique era, the new boutique era, especially with the hand painted stuff. Maybe
for sure.
I can't say for certain because I don't have the history book in front of me, but it might be they might be the ones that led that charge.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I feel like to me, before being in the boutique world, it definitely felt like I was getting something boutique-y.
Yeah.
When I found one, I got it used. I mean, it's all beat to shit in the best ways. I did send it back. I smashed it because the switch stopped working on a show or something, and I stomped on it real hard, and then I sent it in to get fixed. And like before, I would fix them myself, that kind of thing. But it definitely was to me the first like boutique, but fully hand wired, fully not just boutique TM a little bit. Where I feel like we're a little more in that now. Sometimes.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like this something special that I was hyped up it would be, if that makes sense. You know?
No, it totally does. I remember when we first had fellow Pennsylvanian Champion Lecky.
Ah, yes.
Are you familiar with Champion Lecky?
Yes, I'm not super. I'm familiar with him and I have met him. Okay. I'm not like friends with him or anything.
Okay.
But
was he wearing a tinfoil hat? It's a possibility.
Not at that pedal show. I don't think he was wearing a tinfoil hat at that show. Okay. He may have been though.
Wooly is a weird, wild one, and we love him for it. And one of the first pedal that I got from him was his Fettle Boost, which it was hand painted with the underwear and all that stuff on it, and it was like it's so special. I love that thing. I will never part ways with that. There's just something about that, How about number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to go with the Strymon Flint, which I feel like is boring to people because it's super common. But hear me out.
Man, I'm telling you, in the last 10 shows, I think we've had maybe 7 mentions of the Flint.
That's fine. Okay.
Still,
so
after
I don't
400, almost 50 episodes.
So my thing with the Flint is, again, early before I was building and I was just playing and my studio background. I had vintage Fender amps. I had vintage, Gibson amps that have amazing reverb and trem in them. But like I wasn't always wild about, like, I had a 1970 Super Reverb that I would gig out with, and I never really super liked the trem in that. And of course with the Flint, that was again a little bit, maybe I'm not correct in this, but in my world, it was one of those firsts pedals, in that it did the reverbs and the trems just like the amps, but with none of the issues, and it did them really well and out of the box. It was
different. I mean, it was a total groundbreaker in that, and just the form factor, the quality of the audio. I mean, everything.
And then later on, like, I feel like that originally it was like, let me get what I already have, but better and without the issues for gigging.
Yeah.
Then later, kind of recording, I'm definitely not. If I'm not a pedal guy, I'm definitely not a big reverb pedal guy. You know what I mean? But like the plate reverb specifically on that was just amazing, and it was just this big, lush, amazing thing. I made they sell it, but I made one of the favorite switches, which was like that crank. I think it was the wet cranked all the way up and the time cranked all the way up. So at the end of the song, you could hit that, and it was just this big explosion of space kind of on there. Mm-hmm. That one was definitely, I actually just sold it. The one I've had forever. I just sold it because I was like, I'm not really using it a ton. I now made an amp with reverb that I really like. I can always get one down the road, but let's move on in life. But I had that for a long time, and was my biggest, why would I ever put a reverb in an amp if something like this can do it super well, like for the longest time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
What's next?
Let's see. I wrote this down and I keep going back. Okay. So those are two old school, quote unquote, for me, old school things that have long lasted. These are now two newer things to me that I've discovered and they've been my go-tos. The Rangemaster is something that I'm late to the game on, but I am absolutely in love with it. Started making my own versions with, different input caps, so you can have a kind of focus on different things. But the whole idea of a not clean boost in the Rangemaster just kind of has brought it all home for me, of having an amp. Really, your amp's doing all the breakup work and everything, but your pedals are working with it, rather than this kind of notion of a pedal platform of it's clean at the end of it and all your pedals are doing their own thing and the amp isn't changing that. The Rangemaster is something I feel like it just kind of connects all the dots for me, as far as how I want my amps to break up, how the pedal plays with that, how the textures work with your guitar, all that kind of stuff.
You could not go wrong with that. I mean, Rangemaster into an amp, just pushing is glorious. Mm-hmm.
Definitely is magical. Even with so I have a 5-watt amp that blasted into that is just like, I get it, that was a like, oh, I get it. Like getting a Rangemaster and just kind of doing that. It was like, oh yeah, I totally get why this is like a forever effect,
mm-hmm. I kind of feel like a lot of people use the Rangemaster, and by a lot of people, I've not done a test on this.
All people, every person ever.
But when I talk to people about that, and some people are like, yeah, I don't really, blah, blah, I don't like it, I don't get it. I'm like, I wonder if you've approached it like a mid, a mid kind of overdrive, where you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna turn it up a little bit this way and give it a little kiss of this. Is like, man, goose that baby. It just, oof.
Yeah, I feel like, and this might be wrong because I'm not I'm pretty.
You didn't do a
insulated
test
in my
either?
own mind. I didn't do a no test. But I feel like a range master is a pedal for non-pedal people.
That's fair.
Like it's not a pedal. It's not a pedal for people who have like this massive board of all these crazy, effects. It's for people who, well, I have the amp that sounds really good broken up, but what if it sounded just a little more broken up?
Yeah.
And there's that, or a little more filtered with the mids forward, or with the treble, really peaked out, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Indeed. And two of our favorite friends of the show, R2R and Hello Sailor, are, I mean, they're
best in the biz.
Yeah, seriously. Like, if you're gonna do it, you do it right. Go to those guys, see what they got kicking. Okay, so let's see. And correct me if I'm wrong, unless I missed this. So I know you do a fuzz face. Do you do a range master?
I do a strange master.
Okay.
You like that? You like that?
What's the difference between that?
The strange master, it's a range master circuit, but with 4 input caps selection. So regular treble, then like high mids, I guess you would say.
Okay.
And then a little more mids, and then full, which is actually quite a bit darker. It's again with that circuit, it's not like a clean. It doesn't all of a sudden become a clean boost.
No,
it's just a huge boost. It's like all of the frequencies, but not clean.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah. So I do that. That's a very new kind of reluctant. I'm not. I forever have not been a pedal builder guy, but I had messed around and was like, I like this. I feel like people would like this. Let's do kind of some short runs of it in cool looking boxes and do it kind of that way.
Hit that. Those boxes are awesome. I really like that, especially the knobs. Holy moly.
Okay, so shout out to Knobhead. He's on Reverb, I think, only.
Yes.
And on Instagram. Almost all those knobs are his knobs, because I literally go on there and I'm like, these are incredible. I'll grab a bunch of this and then just do a short run of pedals kind of based around the knob.
Yeah. Fair play.
Because they're so cool.
They really are. Yeah. Okay, what's your last one?
All right. Dirge Electronics, the Power Chungus is it's my new, shout out to Evan. He's an incredible human being, and he's doing incredibly abusive things with pedals. And I got one of these, the Power Chungus, at the Philly Pedal Party last, whenever that was, fall. I guess
we
spring.
have got to get up there, Tony. We say that every year, and it's like it always sneaks up, and I was like, "What? That's what's happening now?"
It's a cool little thing. I don't think they get a lot of buzz about it outside of Philly, it seems like, and maybe I shouldn't be talking
pedal builders
in
Philly and surrounding areas.
There is, we got our little. I was like one of the, I guess it was the only amp guy. No, that's not true. There was one other amp guy that I'm blanking on. But it was, a ton of really good pedal builders from kind of mostly East Coast. I feel like they had a good amount of East Coast in general, not just Philly, but obviously Philly and Greater Philly and that kind of thing.
I would imagine a few Canadians too, maybe.
Maybe it's possible. They like to sneak in there.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
But Evan from Dirge is just, so the Power Chungus is how he explained it to me, is a big muff with everything removed that makes it tames it in any way, shape, or form. So it's just on-off switch, a bright switch, and just output level. And at it's not a numbered dial, obviously, but at like a half or 1, it's like unity gain is like pretty much 1. And then everything above that is just a dimed with, no tone control, no nothing, dimed big muff, just meant to destroy. And it's just like, it's insane. It's just so rad. And I just sitting here and just strumming like an open chord with that cranked is just like a religious experience. It's very cool.
What aesthetic do you have?
as far.
Like, is it the blue one? Is it the
one?
one? Is it?
I have one that's. Hold on. Let me get it. It's just a bare metal, etched with an orange knob.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's just, with the giant. I think they're all in giant boxes, right? I think all of them he does, but this one is a giant box. Let's put it that way. I think he did this one for that show. It's not like all graphicked out like he does sometimes.
Yeah.
This particular one.
So
it's kind of plain, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, that's all right. Cool, man. Well, hey, this is cool because we found out a whole bunch of new stuff, which is
like this, like the Strymon Flint.
Yeah, I gotta learn more about that. It was really cool when we had Strymon on several years ago, and they were so awesome to us. They sent a huge box, basically every single pedal that they have.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was like the best Christmas ever. And that was pretty amazing. And I may have been a complete dope, but I sent it back because I didn't know what it was like. I guess I'm supposed to send this back.
Is this rental? I don't know. Yeah.
I might have been able to abscond. But
your pallet of amps is in the mail. By the way. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so let's find out all the info about Strange Audio Electronics.
Whoa. All of it.
Here, that's the big setup. I don't have a button or a big sound or anything. I mean, I might be able to find one. Let me see. Let me see what this does. Oh, that's not the good one.
I mean, that's probably accurate for how this is going to go.
Yeah. So I'll just tee this up. I was, as I always do, searching the great space of Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I flipped it. I don't even know what I flipped to. I'm like, oh, snap. Actually, I might have been one of your pedals. Come to think, before I even saw
the
your
marketing
amps.
works.
Yeah. And then I was like, holy smokes, how is this flying under my radar? So made the call and bada bit pop out. That was only like 2 days ago, right?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Friday or Saturday. Yeah.
And then I saw the amps and I was like, yes, definitely. These things are fantastic. I can't wait to learn more about this person and these products. I hate calling them products, but you're making more than one thing. So what else do I say?
Yeah.
So give us the I guess how did you fall into this kind of thing? Because this is it.
Sure.
You're building amps, and not everybody does that.
Sure. I think so I have a long history of music, of playing music. But sometime in high school, I think for one thing, my dad was a shop teacher in high school. He was a high school shop teacher. So I was always around hands-on making stuff. Then with tying that into being a musician and not being necessarily loaded musician and not being able to afford really expensive things and being hands-on, you learn to fix things. You learn to, really guitars or amps or pedals or whatever. You learn to get the cheap stuff and maybe fix it, maybe looking up mods, all that kind of stuff. Probably high school was early on that end, too early for that. But so then I went to school for audio engineering up in Bangor, Maine. And again, through that, it's like the world of audio, and it's let's get vintage stuff because that's where everybody wants to go. But I'm not loaded, so I'm going to get vintage stuff that I can fix, and I'm going to teach myself how to fix it. So that was getting, I feel like the first couple of things was like a Carvin amp that I got from a friend's dad or something like that. That had some issues, didn't sound that great, but I kind of was like, what's the deal with this? Kind of just always curious about how things worked, how things went together. with the studio end of things, I built a couple different studios up there for an old boss after college. So that's again a lot of hands-on kind of stuff in that world. I don't know. And then at some point, it just became, I was repairing a lot of my own stuff, and then it became, I can repair stuff for my friends that have broken stuff, or you need a guitar that has some buzz or whatever, needs something checked out, that kind of thing. Then in 2014 or so, my wife and I moved down to Pennsylvania, where she's from, and I met my friend Tyler, who we hit it off like the first time we met. He had a studio in town, and he very quickly was like, no one knows how to fix gear. You should actually make that a business to fix gear. So that was definitely getting more serious and more with my head into amps more than anything, more than pedals, more than guitars, more than pro audio stuff. It was getting heads into amps and figuring out, issues with them. Along the way, I did buy I think it was when I was still in Maine, I bought a 5E3 Tweed head clone that I slowly, through learning circuits and learning how to fix stuff, I started tweaking. And that turned into, over the course of many years, into the Lux Plus, which was my first amp that I put my name on. Definitely based in the Tweed world, but had, all kinds of different things that I tweaked around it to make it my own thing. I've had so many people say, I hate the Tweed Deluxe, but I love your amp, kind of thing.
Oh.
So it's kind of where I've gone with that. And then just repairing, having my head in a lot of amps made me realize what I liked about stuff, what I didn't like about stuff, what I felt was maybe came a little bit later was what is my voice that I can put out there in an amp that isn't just a clone, isn't just a tweak on something. That's, what do I want to hear? I feel like a lot of my process has been following my ears, being confident in what I like and hoping other people like it. It's just, I feel like I have a strong enough ear that I can, design something and if I get there with my ears, I feel like a lot of other people, some amount of people will like it too, I guess. Mm-hmm. All of that on the sound end and the tech end is one thing. And then the looks end became, it was around 2019. I did 3 Lux Pluses in an off the shelf Tweed cab. Already knowing I wanted to do my own cab. I'm doing all this work to make this my own thing. Why am I stopping at just having an off-the-shelf cab? I kind of thinking of how will that look in a store, or how will that look on a picture online? It just looks like any other cloned amp, And I didn't want to get the flood of, does that sound like this? Does that sound like that? I wanted to get, that sounds like you. That sounds like that, And fortunately or unfortunately, doing the looks of it tells a lot of how it'll sound to people. People hear with their eyes, as much as I would love if they didn't, but so, and doing, so I started what I call my fancy cabs, with, a close friend, Keith, who ran Gravity Enclosures, just around the corner. He was doing cabs that he had a really kind of unique look. And I hit him up and was like, you have a unique look. I have a unique idea. Can we make this happen? And he did the first fancy cab, and the first run, I can't remember how many he did, maybe 10 or so. And he turned me on, I'll give him credit, to the printed cloth. And doing that, he did that on a couple amps and tuned me into that being a possibility. And I was like, no one is doing that. I've seen some one-offs of people doing printed cloths, but no one's doing that as pretty much their go-to.
Let me ask you about that really quick, because I think, yeah, at least for people that have dibble dabbled just a bit, got their toe in to like, I kind of want to do something different with, and it was like, well, is it audio, audio friendly or audio appropriate cloth? You know, how does that work?
It definitely was a consideration doing it. I'll give Keith a good amount of credit there too, because he had already kind of done his level of, making sure that worked. It's also a little bit of the stretchability of the cloth. It needs to be thick enough to be sturdy, but also have a little bit of stretch to it. We also wanted to have it so it looks like a cloth. You can get such a tight cloth that it doesn't look like threads, but we kind of want that as part of it. You want, even though we have a printed thing over it, you can still, to some degree,
like Lycra or something like that. That's what some of those, some printed, quote unquote, printed cloth things that I've seen, do.
Yeah, this is a linen cotton canvas, which canvas makes it sound like it's really thick, but it's not. It definitely is, for guitar use, acoustically transparent enough, in my opinion.
Cool.
If you're talking hi-fi or if you're talking something else, I'm that's kind of above my pay grade. But for guitars, I have never had any issues of it darkening up the sound or anything like that, and it's pulled pretty tight too, so that kind of stretches out that weave, if you will. So yeah. So from there, he ended up not doing cabs anymore, and that was around 2021, I think. And I was just kind of taking off. I had this, I'm starting to get buzz. I'm starting to hit things. People had fresh stimmy money, as we called it, stimulus checks, and they were home bored from COVID. So I found no issue with basically Instagram being my only marketing and them being like, that looks cool, let me buy one, that kind of thing. So, so since he was hanging up the hat, I was like, oh my God, how do I, do cabs now? How am I I'm going to like introduce another cab guy to start this? That seems kind of crazy. So I was like, I guess I'm building cabs now. I added to the list of things that I'm also doing myself.
Wow.
So I have a guy in Philly that CNCs my cabinet components, the plywood and stuff, but I'm doing all the building and Tolexing and everything, all the assembly, basically everything other than having a full wood shop in my house, because I build out of my house. So
compliments to the chef on the Tolex, because I mean, at least just from the pictures, that looks super tight, man. Tight and like good, not tight as in overstretched or something.
Yeah, thank you. It has been, I kind of look at the two things of like circuit building and Tolex stuff, since I'm doing both of them all 100% me. I don't employ anybody else. It's a good brain exercise, because I feel like in my mind, circuit design and lead dress and everything like that has finesse, but it's kind of like math. Yeah. There's more or less one way to do it, and it's, you just kind of plug away.
There's a lot of geometry involved in that.
Sure, yeah, but with finish work like Tolex, nailing a corner, like getting a really good seam, is just like a great feeling, and then doing it over and over again, it's just something that I'm like, I guess I'm good at this now. I've done enough of them now. So
yeah. So you decided, I'm so good at this, I'm going to give myself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more corners.
More corners, please.
Yeah.
Take all the corners.
But there's less wood. How is this possible?
Love it. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? From there, so I did the Lux Plus, kind of got that rolling. I always wanted to do a lower wattage amp. So the Lux Plus is 15 watts. I want to do a lower wattage amp and then a higher wattage amp. The lower wattage amp was me liking, obviously, the Champ end of things, but want to do something a lot different. So that was the first one of like, okay, I'm going to be a single-ended, going to be 6v6. But other than that, I'm not going to really follow anything in particular, follow my ears a lot with that. And and did the Susie. A lot of people have complimented me. I feel like more on that amp because it's a little more surprising of what it can do for a 5-watt amp. I feel like more in the cleans. Again, following my ears, I always want to play amps that sound nice and full with cleans, but still have all of that, not necessarily even overdrive, but that transitional stuff in between clean and overdrive is always the sweet spot I want to hit. I feel like if you nail that transition, then the higher gain stuff, the more gain breakup stuff tends to follow well. So, and the Susie was like a big, the Susie I named after my daughter too, who was little at the time. She's now not as little because she's 9, but,
but you want to give a shout out? Is that your only child? Did you have others or like?
I have 2 girls. I also have Ruby, who oddly enough is younger, but my larger amp is named after her middle name because there's already like the Ruby amp is like a well-known, at least in the DIY world kind of thing, is like a solid state amp. Like a little like low wattage solid state amp. And I was like, I don't know, that seems confusing. I feel like the Ruby tubes, that's already kind of out there. But the Eloise is nice. I've never seen an Eloise amp, and it's a cool name, and that's her middle name. So
perfect.
There's that. So yeah. Yeah, and that amp, which I introduced earlier this year, was fully, so if the Lux Plus was most related to something, the Susie was a little less. The Eloise is the least related to anything. That was a collection of things I wanted to try in a circuit, essentially, and do a 2-channel amp, but not in a clean, dirty setup. I wanted both to be clean or dirty. You can set up, it being different voicings of clean, different voicings of overdrive, whatever you want. The first channel has a 6 SL7 big octal tube. Second channel has a 12AX7. Never seen anybody do that. Correct me, listeners. Correct me if I'm wrong. I wanted to try a mid control. So it's a single tone knob, plus or minus, like the typical, Fender tweed style, but then with a mid cut. So all the way up is flat tweed mids, almost forward, a little pushy. And then you can roll it back to be more of the 60s Fender, and then even more so really clean up the mids and clean up how it breaks up and, all that kind of stuff. So, and then built-in attenuator, which is also something I never really tried, but wanted to do in this amp instead of a master volume. So it's a built-in reactive load, tuned really well. So it goes from 35 watts down to like 7-ish. Yeah.
Wow.
So the other piece that has been a thread through all of my amps that I kind of got early on is the switch I call the cleaner meaner switch, which I didn't want amps that had a ton of controls. I like just basically volume and tone, but I wanted one extra thing to voice how it breaks up. And the cleaner meaner switch is 3 settings of how, dictating how the amp breaks up with negative feedback, with coupling caps, with that kind of stuff. It's different. The switch is doing different things in each amp at the circuit level, but I call it the same thing because it's sonically doing the same thing, giving it different. Cleaner is lowest volume, but also highest headroom, usually rounder, a little bit cleaner. Meaner is highest volume, but also the lowest headroom, so the most breakup. And then the middle position is in the middle between those two. So
well, that's cool. That's a I think a user-friendly way to approach that. I think we're always kind of just twiddling the knobs to find that, like, right, is it just a little bit? Yeah. And if you bump it, then you're like, oh, crap, where's my, how did that affect my EQ, blah, blah, blah. All the cool stuff.
Sure. Yeah. That's how I feel like playing these amps. I enjoy playing these amps. I enjoy looking at these amps. I hope others do too. Well,
they're special. I mean, it kind of goes along what we were talking about earlier, between like the ZVEX and the Fettel boost. It's like Nothing else looks like those. Nothing.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And that goes a long way in, whether, well, just in music. We're always trying to go, how can I have a little bit more of my voice, meaning your personality, your thumbprint, whatever you want to call it, into the thing that I'm making. And you are creating something that will allow people to do that much more, or else, you got another black box out there.
That's the goal.
And black is cool.
I have a somewhat not strict, but kind of strict rule of no straight black Tolex.
Yeah.
Which I might break because someone just requested one of the Eloise amps in a black Tolex, but with a walnut. So I call the front curve pieces on those, the front accent.
Uh-huh.
Do like a stained walnut on that with black. And I said, I might do that. We'll see.
That could be interesting. Kind of like a hi-fi throwback.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And I've always wanted to. I know you guys interviewed Moon Guitars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Moon Guitars.
What's up, Kyle? I know he listens during the show, so everybody wave.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah. Big shout out. He got my first reverse curve front, which sounds more amazing than it is. It's just the front, but backwards. I just was trying a different thing on his, and we did a Moon Tolex, our Moon grill cloth to go with the moonness
on the Eloise.
Yeah, he got a Lux Plus Verb. So I finally did add reverb to the Lux Plus. Figured out a way that I could do that. I didn't want to I wanted the amp to be totally what it's always been if you have the reverb all the way down. But I want a reverb in it. I finally messed around. Usually around New Year's and like the holidays, I tend to hack into like old prototypes I have to try out stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was about this time last year that I was like, why have I never really done a reverb in that or tried it out? Let's try it out. And I was like, oh man, I like it. Okay, we're gonna do that now.
So you just mounted a flint in the inside? Is that what you
did? You gave away the secret. Uh-oh. I did a full spring reverb. I didn't want to do totally what everybody else does, and I did on the foot switch for it. You have reverb on and off, and then you have a switch that I call swell, which is on a click of a foot switch. It's full. It's as if you turn up the reverb knob all the way.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
You can do that it's not momentary switch, but you can do that in the moment of like, and again, like I used to do with my Strymon Flint, at the end of the song, you want a big bloom of reverb.
Yeah.
You can do that at a click on the foot switch.
That's cool.
So it's not fully wet, technically speaking, circuit wise speaking, but I kind of tuned it to be like, you can still play it fully and it sounds musical. It's not like overtaking, but it's still a big jump. And you kind of have like a preset wetter, kind of option there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Good idea.
Thanks.
So the thing, when I look at amp builders' work, one of the, we talked an awful lot about the cabinets and everything, because honestly, like that's the first thing you see and you're like, whoa, what's this? This is really different. But when you start looking at the inside, that's like one of those things where I am always impressed by people who take to wiring very naturally, and not necessarily wiring. Theoretically, you can get a monkey to wire something. However, understanding circuitry is a totally different thing. And I'm always impressed by that when people really just get it really well. Is that something that you just absolutely just took to, or did that take a lot of work?
I think getting into that, kind of getting my feet wet a little bit into it was not a ton of work, because I just feel like my background of, being in the shop with my dad and being really hands-on kind of already geared me in the right direction. But definitely know at one point early on, I was like, I want to actually do the homework here and learn it more than from a modding. I want to know what everything does. I feel like I've done at that point, like enough of it through repair, definitely repair stuff is a great crash course in learning it. If you enjoy repairing stuff, doing it to the point that you go, oh, when I change this, it makes this difference.
Yeah.
Or this is broken, and when I replace it, why is it now not me? Like what makes things work? What makes things not work? That once you've done that enough, you slowly through hands-on learn it that way. But I feel like at one point I was like, I kind of want to dive more in depth and learn stuff. So I started, pulling out some books and there's, thankfully I started learning this in the age where everything's on the internet. So it's, I'm not a YouTube guy. I'm not a YouTube kind of watcher for stuff like that. Oddly enough, it's more so like, the Aiken amps, white pages, a lot of in-depth, more like theory level stuff of what is negative feedback? What does that mean? How is that applied to an amp? And what does that do? Like stuff like that.
Yeah. That's the thing that always just, it fascinates me. It stupefies me as well, because whenever I'm looking at that stuff, it's always like, how did they come to that conclusion? Why that thing? And, you've got a pile of different resistors. Why that order? Why that specific, type? And I think, it's fascinating. And it's kind of like food. It's like all the different ingredients and so many flavors, and you change one thing, it kind of like, you got a whole different dish.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. I feel like at one level daunting, because it is, you can think of an amp is a collection of all kinds of small circuits doing all kinds of specific jobs. And that just looking at an amp full of stuff, it looks like it's kind of how did they come to this conclusion and everything. But I always come back to, ultimately, tubes are designed to work a certain way. You can change some aspects of that to help with if it's clean or if it distorts or how the frequency response is or how loud it is, that kind of stuff. But really, at the end of the day, it still is an old technology that's designed to work a certain way. There's only so many ways to skin that cat in a way. I like to think that because amps, this might be a loaded opinion, but I feel like amps versus pedals, especially analog pedals, more than now that we're so much in digital pedals and you can do anything in the world with that. But analog pedals are only ultimately devices that do a couple things typically, very generalizing. But I feel like amps, because there's so many pieces in there doing individual things, you can kind of have a voice within old technology of a tube amp, because by changing some aspect of it, it's something that no one has ever done necessarily, or at least hasn't been commercially available maybe, or, that kind of thing. So that's what really drove me, I feel like, to do different models was like, I haven't seen this and I want to try it out more than anything. Like the Eloise was something that wasn't anything necessarily I set out to quote unquote release. It was just, I want to try. I've read about these circuits, these kind of, the mid control, and I've never done an attenuator like that. Let's try it out. Let's see what it's like. And it's, so it's something that I kind of checked out, and then it just kind of all worked. It kind of all worked how or at least I made it work how I wanted it to work. So
I'm following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tony's
Josh,
got his hand raised over here.
Uh-huh.
Josh, so let's talk transformers. There seems to be a lot of hullabaloo about different types of transformers and different manufacturers.
Nothing else, they are more than meets the eye.
Yes.
That is for sure. Yeah.
What do you like?
I use all Sour Sound transformers, mostly because Brian's an amazing, nice guy. He early on, I think, again, I just saw him on Instagram and I just reached out to him and said, I have these amps. I want to take the next step. Mercury wasn't quite doing what I wanted. Not that I was asking them, but I was looking at other places, and he pretty much immediately picked up the phone and then had like an hour-long conversation with me about, stuff that was way over my head on how all of that works out. And really, and early on, the first couple amps were amps that I designed without his stuff, and then just adding it in after our conversations of what I was looking after and working on a design. Adding his stuff was definitely just icing on the cake. It just all of it kind of came together greater than their parts.
For a lay person who may not know what the difference is, as far as like, okay, why do transformers make a difference, and especially to the sound? Can you enlighten us on that?
I mean, Brian probably could more than me, but it's all about, they're all just coils of wire. They're with, it's hard to explain. I feel like with that's the limited knowledge I have.
Well,
I feel like,
not necessarily. I don't expect you to explain exactly how.
What type of wire do you want to use?
No, I just mean from an output standpoint, like you said, when I put them in, it made it better. What about that makes it better?
Yeah, so in my experience, so the Stussy is a great example. That's an amp that I had developed. I think I was mostly working on that amp when I reached out to him, and it was like, I feel like I'm almost there. I've done a lot of the circuit level stuff that I feel like can get me where I want to go, but I'm not quite there. And also with low wattage amps, there's, at least on the off the shelf stuff, it's a little more limited, and more specifically, it's limited to what was available in vintage models. And I wasn't necessarily going after a vintage thing. I'm not making a Champ, even though it's a 5-watt single-ended amp with a 6v6. I want to make something that is, this cleans are bigger. Again, all of that transitional overdrive stuff is what I want. I want it to be saggy in a good way. I don't want it to be super stiff. I want it to be a dynamic. All that stuff I would tell Brian, and he kind of, had all these ideas. He said that the design he had for the output transformer for the Suzy was more akin to like a hi-fi design. I can't remember exactly why, like how, but that and what that meant. But I'm like, it sounds great. It just really
that means it would help it feel like warmer with a little softer
maybe more.
edges.
I feel like my number one thing of telling him was I don't want the transition to overdrive in a lower wattage amp can sometimes, in my experience, be grabby.
Okay. Where,
especially with lower notes, you're playing, and then if you hit a lower note, it kind of grabs into that distortion. It as opposed to kind of flowing into it.
Okay.
And that's something that really is, even for all my amps, my designs to him are like, that transitional stuff is what I'm after. Nailing that is really the ultimate. All the top end stuff, when you're cranked, I am already doing at the circuit level to not go overblown. Again, like for my Lux Plus and the Lux Plus Verb now, based around a Tweed Deluxe. As much as I like the blown out Neil Young thing, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something that can maybe, when you're fully dimed and with a humbucker, can maybe dip into that. But I didn't want it to lose the definition. I wanted to be a big blooming, overdrive, but not just not kick over that edge. And transformers, in my experience, are, even when you do all of your circuit level stuff, nailing the transformer is just the 100%. If you're 95% there, getting the transformer nailed, even the power transformer too, is a big part of it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What do you feel? Is the output transformer the key, or is it the input voltage transformer?
It's all important. It's all some of their parts. Typically speaking, the output transformer has the most obvious change when you're changing from one thing to another. More or less, your power transformer is just there to make your wall voltage, higher voltage and have your heater voltage and all the other things, and have enough current to handle how many tubes you have and what your circuit design is. But there's a lot more going into that and how things breathe and sag and do that interactive stuff is what really brings it all home, and is the power transformer is doing a lot of that. In my amps, I'm not making super high headroom amps that just, no matter what I plow into it, it will be a solid, pillar of tone. If that makes sense. I don't know. I want amps that you play as an instrument. You play along with them and they work with your playing style. And developing both the power transformer and the output transformer around those parameters really just brought it home. For the Lux Plus and now the Lux Plus Verb, both, I use his TDR output transformer, which is kind of between the Tweed world and the 60s deluxe reverb world. It's just right in the middle. It doesn't have too much of the brown stuff, but it isn't super clean. It's not as brittly as the 60s stuff. It's just right in that sweet spot. And I think that really, again, kind of brought home what I was after already, with that. So
nice.
Yeah.
Maybe one last question about this stuff. Unless Tony has one, can you tell us about what speakers you like to pair with your amps?
That's a good question, and has been an evolving question. I think typically speaking, it's high efficiency, more Celestion end speakers.
Okay.
I typically use Weber Legacies is a speaker that I really like. I'm not a super bright amp guy. I would rather have things a little smoother, and that gets me there. Again, the transitional overdrive stuff is a big piece to that. Higher efficiency, bigger magnets help you get there too. It just it gives a little more breathing room for the amp rather than giving out before. So all that transitional stuff translates, in my experience at least. But I also have used the Jupiter 12 LA, their Alnico sounds fantastic. The Celestion Gold sound fantastic. What else have I tried? And then, so I do make a 10-inch amps. The Suzy is either a 10-inch combo or a head with a 210. And those I usually use the Weber Silver 10s. I find that to be a good sweet spot there as well. A little higher efficiency than some others that I've tried, like the Greenbacks tend to be. Those sound great cranked up, but they're just not loud enough for a lower wattage amp for what I'm looking for. So the Silver 10s tend to kind of get me there. I found that I'm not a huge 10 fan going into it, and that was like a 10 that I liked because it didn't sound super like a 10 out of the gate.
Do you find like you need a more efficient speaker to work with the lower wattage, or?
It always helps. I mean, if you're going after a little more volume and a little more breathing room for the amp, then higher efficiency can get you there for sure. Yeah.
Because otherwise it just kind of starts to fart out, right?
Exactly. Like again, like the Greenback sounded great, just but like it Tony. Was just not enough.
Excuse me.
Dang. I like the Greenback. I tried the Greenback in it because I've seen so many other builders for their 10s use the green 10, not even the green 12, even though they're similar designs. The green 10, I've seen a lot of builders swear by, but for my amps, I wasn't getting the cleans that I wanted. It kind of was lacking there. Once you cranked it, the overdrive was the whole point of the greenback style was like the overdrive was like amazingly creamy and what you expect out of that, but it didn't have the clean stuff that I wanted. So, and then on top of that, the volume wasn't there. I wanted to kind of maximize volume for a small wattage amp. So the shout out to Weber.
Right on. Well, it has been a delight learning about strange audio electronics. I hope everyone who's listening is as equally as intrigued now as we were when we started talking with Josh. Please go check out the site and the Instagram, because it is... it's a treat for the eyes, and I commend you on describing how you've arrived at your tonal choices and the components and what that means to you, because I think we have a very good understanding of what we should expect from these amps.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for that.
And when I came in today and told Todd, did you see the Dragon Susie? I mean, that one is so killer. It's British racing green with the graphic dragon on the grill cloth. That one just caught my eye.
Too cool.
It's funny. That's one of those, like, early on, I was on the fence about doing custom, like what anybody wanted, or doing like my custom of obviously not like a Fender off the shelf with black Tolex and a silvery cloth or whatever. I want to do my printed cloths, but I was like, oh, I'll do 6 options. But slowly, like over the years, I'm just like, why not just do custom stuff? Like, offer it out there. If people want it, great. And so far people have really wanted it. And that Dragon one really was, I usually give them ideas, especially for there's only so many Tolexes out there, really. But the cloth, I usually give them, if they give me an idea of what they're after, I'll give them some samples that I pull off online, some examples of what we can do. So, and he picked out of the examples I gave him, and yeah, that came out excellent. So
too cool.
Pretty cool.
Well done, Strange Audio Electronics.
Bravo.
Yeah, bravo. Tony?
Yes, Todd?
I think we got some stuff to do.
Yes. Are we rounding third yet?
We are rounding third.
Okay. Todd, at this point of the show, there's a special... Todd's button didn't work. There's a special game that we like to play called...
Would you rather?
I had to push the button for him.
I was hitting the wrong button.
You're hitting the blue button, not the purple button.
Who sang that? Which one of you sang that?
That was our good friend Jared, who is down in Nashville.
He was the first true co-host.
Yes.
And then he introduced me to Tony.
Yes.
And then I had to figure out a way to... Jared is he's the Gibson pickup guy.
Yes.
At Gibson, so that worked out well.
Yes.
Sure.
Anyways,
so yes, would you
yes.
Yes. This week's Would You Rather, I'm titling Another Glitch in the Time-Space Continuum.
Okie doke.
In this time machine trip, your goal is to bring back a great classic tube amplifier to play at your next big gig.
A what?
A classic tube amplifier.
I thought you said a crate, and I was like,
we are
not doing that.
A classic crate. How did you know that was my favorite amplifier?
Well, that could be an option. Let's listen in to the rest of the story, shall we? But something has gone terribly wrong in the time-space continuum. It seems our good friend, Professor Squeaky Bellows, king of accordion music, has successfully chipped away rock guitar music. Only high headroom, clean, solid-state amplifiers are available.
Oh, my.
In every shop you visit, there are plenty of Fenders, Voxes, and Marshalls, but they're all solid-state.
Oh.
In desperation.
No PVs?
In desperation, wait for it.
Okay.
In desperation, you end up grabbing an odd PV Bandit that strangely doesn't have a distortion circuit.
Oh.
It was never there because of the glitch in the time-space continuum. You see.
Dang.
The manager then points you to a dark corner at the back of the store where 2 pedals in dust-covered boxes reside. One is an original Dallas Rangemaster, and the other is an original Arbiter Fuzzface.
Ooh.
Since nobody wants them, he's throwing in one for free.
Okay. That's a good question.
Which of these
He also makes both of those pedals, Mr. Strange does.
well, I figured it would all tie together,
okay.
you see.
Look at that.
Which of these classic pedals would you rather make your PV Bandit solid-state amp sing?
That's a great would you rather, Tony. Finally.
Finally, Todd loves it. He likes it.
Okay. All right. This is a fun one.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tony Boney.
So, I mean, out of... I do
You
have
got
to...
a big pompadour today, by the way.
I'm going for the Conan
A
look.
giant coiffure.
Coiffure. I had my Shanky's hat on earlier, and it kind of
Yes.
pushed everything up.
Okay.
I have to say that between the two of those, I'll take a Rangemaster any day of the week.
Okay.
And I think, given the fact that it's a PV Bandit, which is, I think it's a 112 watt amplifier, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's about right. Let's just say that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
I think that
Google says 80 watts.
80 watts. What does Google know?
82. Okay.
Google schmoogle.
Yeah. Anyways.
I think that the Rangemaster would work better than the Fuzzface because in my, for some reason, the PV circuitry, even when the ones that actually do have distortion built into them, never sound quite right. I don't know if it's a combination of how the amp is made. I mean, the clean channels on PVs always sound pretty good.
Yeah.
But you kick in the distortion side, and
it gets complicated. There's crunch, there's turbo, there's a double, there's pull out for even more crunch. There's there's a lot.
There's lots going on. So for my money, which free of course, is
Unless you have
really
like
good.
a deuce or something like that.
Yeah, the deuce, but that's a 212. So yeah, I'm going with the Rangemaster.
Okay. All right.
Let's ask an expert though.
Yes, Josh, what are you doing?
I'm an expert in PV Bandits.
Yes, that's your new model.
Jesus. That's a good, I probably would agree on the Rangemaster end. Because as much as I love a fuzz face and related fuzzy circuits, they, in my experience, sound... I mean, here again, though, I've never played either through a PV Bandit, so this is all speculation. I feel like they sound... Full fuzzes like that sound really buzzy and weird through cleaner amps, in my experience, especially cleaner, brighter amps. So I would go with the Rangemaster, hoping you can blow up the front end, that beautiful trans tube front end.
Yeah.
It's possible. I don't know.
Well,
I'll go with that.
I'm doing the same thing because I think the nice things about fuzz is when they happen, it kind of gets lost a little bit. They tend to feel a lot more sterile sounding to me.
Yeah.
The actual fuzz sound. It kind of like cold, so it loses a lot of the cool stuff about fuzz, at least to my ears. So I'm gonna go with the old Rangemaster.
Oh, Rangemaster. Yeah. Is that OL apostrophe?
The OL apostrophe.
Ye oldie.
Yeah. Indeed.
So another unanimous.
That's 2 in a row. That's rare.
It's very rare that we have some unanimity.
Yes.
That's easy for me to say.
Well, now we're going to take just an opportunity to thank a few people. Then we're going to say goodnight to our friend Josh.
Yes, that's right, Todd. At this point of the show, there's a special group of people that we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become an executive producer? Well, it's quite simple. You head over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate and become a friend, a hero, a sponsor of the podcast. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts. Thank you. And opportunities to win great stuff. And be on the first to get T-shirts and stuff like that. I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do, they say. In addition to all that fun stuff, there's one thing more, I'm told, Todd. What would that be?
You get to have your name read on the thing.
Your name read on the thing. Thank you, Jared.
I'm using the heck out of this thing today, man.
I mean, you're just a button-pushing fool.
Hot tonight.
So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to read some names. So special thanks to these executive producers: Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pampas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterly from Rare Buzzer Effects, John Sebastian, John Halverson, Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, Owen Eads, Pluton, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology, Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Barazin, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, Vader and Pedals, Caribou Gone, and Ed Rossler. But wait, Todd, there's more.
Okay.
We have a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the A number ones, and they wear a beautiful shiny fez on their head whilst listening to the podcast. Do you remember who got the first fez?
You.
No.
Me.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Dr. Z.
Dr. Z got the first fez?
Dr. Z got, because we were up there and we were talking about fezzes for some reason. And so we sent him a fez.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Jeff has the only gold fez.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
Does that make it a Gez?
No. Stop.
Ooh. Zoinks.
Yeah.
So special
you
thanks.
took that
golden moment.
Little clip off your nose too soon there, Josh.
Special thanks to these Grand Poobahs: Anthony Jamalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robison, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wound Pickups, Jonathan Labate from M2 Labs, Ty Barnes, James Castellano, and Kenny House.
That's right. Indeed. He sent us a nice picture of him of himself
in a fez.
In a fez, yeah. In the fez.
And nothing else.
In his fez. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I had to crop it.
Yes.
You
can
do it without your fez on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for supporting the show. We really, truly cannot do this without you. And we just cannot thank you enough because you help keep this thing going.
Yep.
And we want to go as long as possible. If you are thinking about it, if you have been considering it, scratching your chin, should I support you forever?
It would make a wonderful New Year's resolution.
Yes, or a Christmas gift to yourself.
Yes.
We would appreciate it. But for now, we need to say a giant thank you to Josh Strange Audio Electronics, for joining us for this episode.
AKA Dr. Strange.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you so much. I am not a doctor.
Yes, we are glad that you got to hang out with us. It was a real pleasure meeting you and learning all about this brand new brand to us. Anyways.
To us, yes.
Yes, it's old hat to you, but not to us. The shine hasn't worn off yet.
It's old fez.
Yes, indeed. Now, where do you want to steer people to go check the things out that you're making and grab one?
My website, you can place pre-orders on everything. I pretty much more than not do, all of my amps are built to order, mostly because of the looks. So you can get exactly what look you want. So, you can go to my website. You can read about all my amps and, about pre-orders and all that kind of process. And I also put up pedals as I build them in the short batches and everything on there. Instagram is a great day-to-day check-in with me, see what's going on, see what stuff I'm working on and all that good stuff. See the pretty colors.
Outstanding. I do have one final question for you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
If you were to build the amp of your choice, whom would it be for and what might it look like?
Who would it be for? Who? And what would it look like? That is a great question. I'm having a hard time answering. I met Nels Klein last year.
Nice.
I'd love to build him an amp because he's like the coolest dude ever. He was playing Insane Gear, an amp that he was gifted from Verlaine from television. Some crazy amp. I wish I had more time to see exactly what it was. I would love to get him an amp. And what color? Ooh, I don't know. Something weird. Maybe I've always wanted to do a like the rat fur kind of instead of Tolex, the rat fur like on like the PV fuzzy stuff. I want to do that. And maybe instead of grill cloth this time, do like a wire mesh situation.
Oh,
Maybe.
yes.
All right.
That
really
sounds
mixed it
very
up.
aggressive. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll take it.
All right.
I appreciate you answering that and being put on the spot.
Sure.
Now, Tony Baloney, where can people go get some custom pick guards?
Just head over to pickguardian.com. Check out the stuff that I do. What do? I make custom pick guards, like you said.
They're the best.
Oh, thank you. I have another endorsement.
Yes.
How do you get one? You shoot me an email. You let me know what you need, what you're trying to do. All the stuff.
All the stuff.
What material? What
Yeah.
pickups? I'll make something special for you.
Yeah.
And as Todd likes to say, it's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
That is correct, Mundo. And if you, or just if you can't get a hold of Tony for whatever reason, just give me a holler and I will put him in touch with you. I do that pretty often, actually.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
That's a dirty, filthy lie.
That's the truth.
I answer all my emails.
I know you do. When I send them to you. So, no. You can shoot me and DM on Instagram at guitar knobs.
Easy for you to say.
Jiminy Christmas. That's been a late one.
Yeah.
And we would love to discuss all the things that you have floating around in your mind. Give us a would you rather. Think you can do better than Tone Bone
Please. Please.
He's running dry. We need your help, and we would appreciate it.
Let us know what your four on the floor is.
Yeah, please tell us. In the meantime, have a fantastic guitar week, everybody, and subscribe. Arg. Now this might sound a little bit weird.
Ooh, thanks.
Try this spindrift is delicious.
This spindrift is delicious. Ooh.
Okay, you're fired.
Yeah.
He's no one-take Tony.
Yeah. Anyways.
No.
What are you doing? What was that?
It's my new thing.
No, it's not a new thing. Do it again, you weirdo.
Go back to the King of Prussia jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, King of Prussia.
Yeah.
What's in a name? What? Wasn't I doing that?
No.
Oh, stop it.
Get off of this podcast immediately, if not sooner.
This is very morning zoo crew-y, kind of, you know?
It's just him.
It's just him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
it's a sad thing, and undoubtedly, but
Yeah, walk that one back, there,
Yeah.
Tony. All right, Josh. At least you're laughing and not crying.
do we have a would you rather?
What do you mean?
Do we have
no,
a would
no,
you rather?
No.
So, in other words, I
Yes.
have
Yes.
to come up with
Yes.
a would you
Yes.
rather.
Yeah.
I would like to apologize in advance to our listeners from the state of Delaware. Todd hates you.
Oh man,
Great. That's going to
trouble
go over
now.
really well. I don't.
it shouldn't
It's
be.
not that hard.
No.
It shouldn't be that hard,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
be.
Let's get busy. And away
Whoa.
we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.